This is Hidden Killers Week in Review.
A look back at the most prolific stories of the week.
Murder in the morning from the Hidden Killers podcast.
You know, when you go to an expert in some capacity, whether it be professionally or health-wise, it's good to have someone who knows their craft, knows their experience, maybe has done it a time or two. If you're doing sports, it's good to, if you golf, have a pro that can help give you some pointers. If you're going to have surgery done, you want someone who has performed quite a bit with success. If you're going to a anger management therapist, is it a good idea that your anger management therapist has a lot of experience in anger management or lack thereof in the management part on their own behalf, but maybe, lives in the world, knows it? It's one thing if you were able to overcome those sort of things and really help other people through their struggles, which maybe that's what this person intended, but not necessarily ended up executing, and no pun intended there, as a Florida anger management therapist has been arrested for first-degree murder in connection with a man's death. Kind of go back to the whole Florida man. Travis McBride, a 46-year-old therapist specializing in anger management, was taken into custody and charged with first-degree premeditated murder in connection with the death of 51-year-old Clinton Dorsey. The arrest made by authorities in DeLand, Florida, sent shockwaves through the community and raised questions about the circumstances surrounding the tragic incidents. Police in DeLand responded to what was described as a suspicious incident at the home, leading to the discovery of a lifeless body. Hear the scene, prompting the immediate investigation. In an updated statement, the DeLand Police Department identified Travis McBride as the primary suspect in the case. The investigation revealed that Dorsey's body was discovered in McBride's car, shedding light on a connection between the two individuals. According to police, McBride and Dorsey were embroiled in an ongoing dispute that ultimately culminated in Dorsey's tragic demise. A female witness who contacted the authorities provided crucial information about the events leading up to the incident. She recounted an encounter with McBride the previous night when he came to her door seeking Dorsey. McBride alleged that Dorsey had harmed his dogs and issued a chilling threat. The witnesses reported that McBride stated he was going to kill him, though she later expressed uncertainty about whether he had said he planned to harm or kill Dorsey.
Oh, boy.
Tragically, a few hours after the encounter, the witnesses claimed to have heard approximately 8 to 9 gunshots. She alleged that she witnessed McBride shooting the victim. Additionally, another male witness called 911 to report a person cleaning up the blood because he killed someone. The witness further claimed to have seen the individual carrying a body across the road and placing it in a car before driving away. The female... Yeah?
There's just a lot of witnesses to this as well. It's
Yeah.
not just, I shot somebody and I'm cleaning it up. It's like everybody saw this.
There wasn't a whole lot of thought for witnesses. Female witness who had earlier interacted with McBride also reported that he returned to her home the following morning and threatened her against notifying authorities. Her fear of McBride was palpable, as she stated that she had observed him dragging Dorsey's lifeless body into a wooded area. It's not suspicious at all when you go to your neighbor and tell them, don't report this.
Oh, my God.
It's kind of like you're guaranteed to get convicted now. It's worth noting that McBride had a previous encounter with the law in 2017. He was accused of choking a woman after she took his dog out in a manner that upset him. Although charges were not...
the dogs here. What's going on here?
Yeah. Although charges were not pursued at that case, McBride received a deferred prosecution agreement contingent on avoiding violent contact with the woman. As of now, it remains unclear whether Travis McBride has entered a plea in response to the charges. Attempts to contact his attorney have been unsuccessful, leaving many questions unanswered in this tragic and shocking case. We'll find out what happens. But yeah, I guess this is someone who, although may have experience in anger management, not very good at managing it himself.
When we started this segment, it reminded me of me finding a new dentist when I lived in Minneapolis. I walked into a clinic and the dentist's teeth were horrible. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
If you can't take care of your own teeth, you're not taking care of mine. And that's, I don't know how, if you look up a therapist to see if maybe they've, have an arrest warrant out for, trying to choke somebody and their specialty is anger management. I don't know if you do that kind of background check on your therapist, but maybe you should.
I think maybe you should. Because, there's so many things in the medical world today where you used to just kind of go in and go, I trust this. This is a doctor. They know more than I do about what they're talking about, and I'm going to go with what they have to say. And then we got to the world of WebMD, and then everybody started second-guessing their doctors, and the doctors were like, did you Google that? And it's like, no, I don't Google that stuff anymore. But today, maybe we need to go back and take a second look at some people, because there's so many times where the people that we entrust our health, our well-being to, aren't necessarily so trustworthy. It happens very, very frequently, actually. There's so many medical errors. Isn't like the biggest cause of death in this country medical error? Not necessarily malpractice, but error, where it's unintentional, but because somebody wasn't paying attention, something got fucked up, and then somebody dies.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that. I thought the leading cause of death was gunshot wounds, but I get my studies mixed up.
I thought it was attacks from feline cats under the age of 5.
Well, that's a whole different story.
I could be wrong. But it's a scary, weird thing. I had what am I looking for? Not therapist, psychiatrist for a little while, who one of the heads of the state medical board, very well respected, good track record, all that. Well, he's been brought up on charges of like Medicaid fraud, and there's like literally videos of him when he was doing rounds at one of the clinics here. For people who are, in distress and they need their medical attention and help, and because they're inpatient, of him doing the rounds, going up and down the halls and just like marking it down on the computer, but not actually doing any sort of check-in with anybody. And there's a gazillion lawsuits against the guy now. And there's a lot of stuff that has never been published that I've heard from other doctors in the area about just how screwed up that world was. And you'd have no idea. It really was presented as a very high-end, nice, well-respected, this is a good practice. I only saw the guy once or twice. I ended up seeing more of the therapist that they had on staff. And I had a good one there for a while, but all of a sudden he disappeared one day too, years ago. All of a sudden it's like, he's gone. Like, what the hell happened here? But there's a lot of weird things with that whole situation. But it's an example of where you think you're in a good place. You think it's, you wouldn't have any other idea because there was no charges at that moment in time against this person. But you don't know. You don't know. It takes quite a bit to get to the top of some of these places. And other people than just a patient has to, get you there. And if all these other experts are not seeing these problems, and it takes something this extreme to shine a light on it, you just don't know as a patient exactly what you're getting. And it's scary, but that seems to be where we are today.
That's really frightening, Tony.
Oh, it's extremely frightening. It is totally bizarre, totally weird. I want to reach back out to the therapist that I had years ago to see, are you still around? Like literally? Because he left, as far as I know, the practice and left the whole field completely. And it was was that burnout or you can't practice? The one I was with, I believe, was burnout. But why the burnout? Was it something to do with that office? Or there's a lot of questions. There's so many questions. I've heard other allegations of other people who left the practice and allegations of people taking their own lives and such as well.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, you wouldn't know from the kitschy, fun way that they marketed themselves. It was not not what you'd expect. But, it's one of those things where in life, not everything is as it appears.
Sick of the ads?
We are too.
Start listening with no commercials now and get access to all of our episodes in advance of everyone else.
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
True Crime Today Premium Plus.
Sign up now.